Well, I completed the Order 1886. My total play time was about somewhere around 8 or 9 ish hours, about as long as an Uncharted game. A lot of it though was because of screenshotting, farting around, etc. So it is indeed a short game. Now, this is where I have to talk about the game. Visually, this game is incredible. I mean that. Anyone who tried to say that this game is somehow visually unimpressive, looks worse than game X or Y on another console, they can go home. They can go home. This is by far the best looking thing I've ever seen on a console. I mean, down to the tiniest little details. It is just incredible. I mean, even a freaking cloth draped over a box in the background, a box that you're never going to interact with, that has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on around you, and it's just so detailed and folded, and the shadows are cast by it that actually reflect the shape. It's really good. It is really good. Um, the detail in the character models just simply amazing. The gameplay. Now, this is where a lot of people seem to have a problem, and I'm honestly going to say I don't. The gameplay, when there is gameplay, yeah, old joke. The gameplay is actually really solid. The shooting feels nice. I don't know why people have said that they miss a lot, especially in professional reviews. That looks really bad on you, especially since about the only gun that you can really miss with a lot are the shotguns if you go beyond medium range. I mean, every weapon in the game is pretty gosh darn accurate, aside from the machine pistol, which is, a small handheld machine gun, basically. So, it's going to be a bit, jerky. But the rifles, they all work really well. Um, I'm not sure what the thermite rifle complaints were, unless they fixed that, because it worked really well for me. Um, Now, the cutscenes, there's a lot of them. There are. But really, they're just really well animated, really well acted, to the point where you still get immersed in the game. Uh, I mean, I was paying attention to what was going on, that's for sure. Um, there are a lot of them though, and some of them can be fairly long. So that could be seen, I suppose, as a negative for some folks. I personally liked it, but again, it's not necessarily about me personally. Um, I will say that I have seen games with longer cutscenes in between gameplay segments. Metal Gear Solid 4 comes to mind, but again, that some people didn't like that either. Um, Now, as for the boss fights, now see, here's the thing. I see a lot of people say that the final boss fight's just a QTE, meaning all you do is, you push a button and you swing your knife, and there you go. That's it. That's all you do. You push a button, you swing your knife, you push the button, you swing your knife, you just do what the prompts on the screen tell you to do, and then it's done. That's not entirely accurate. While it's true, it's not quite accurate. It's very difficult to explain this to explain how this works verbally, and even harder to explain how it feels. But when you're in a boss battle, there are two really big boss battles in game, and when you're in one, what happens is you wind up basically in a circle. You're locked in a duel with just that one character, and you're going in a circle. Or you can stand stationary if you choose, but you can also circle left and right, which can be useful for helping create openings. Um, when the enemy attacks you, you push the right stick in a certain direction to dodge in that direction. When you want to attack, and you do have to time it properly, or you are going to wind up being punished, Because if you know, try to attack and they go into an attack, you're probably going to lose your chance to evade. But to do light attacks, you have to press the L2 button. To do heavy attacks, you push the R2 button. There are also times where, due to debris happening during the battle, you will wind up with things on the ground you can pick up and use to attack your enemy. And yes, there are some push button sequences as well, but the fact that you have that kind of control and you choose what pace you attack at, you choose how you evade, and the fact that you know you can evade fail, but it doesn't just auto kill you, you know, you're not punished for making one mistake and having to start all over. To me, that is actually a QTE boss battle done right, and the fact that it is so much different from the rest of the gameplay, in my opinion, actually helps it stand out and lets you know, this is serious. This is a lot more intense than your usual, gun battles. This is something that is, it creates a feeling of, intensity and differentness from the rest of the game. And I honestly really like how it's implemented. Now, I can understand people not liking QTE boss battles. They'd rather, run and gun or have some sort of, combo system. I honestly don't know how that would have translated well into this game. Honestly, it probably would have just felt like a really, really, really stronger version of regular half breeds in the case of the first boss. So, it's just one of the things where I'm really not sure that, I'm sure there are ways they can improve it. I know there are ways that they'll be able to improve it. And they've even said as much, that they know there are areas that they can improve on in the sequel. So, hopefully, if that gets made, I'd love to see how they tweak it. I hope they don't completely abandon it, though, just because I like the idea, the feeling that it feels different from everything else. Now, me personally, I would give this game an 8. I would. But in terms of, objectively speaking and what people could consider a drawback, I'm going to have to stick with probably a 7.5, 7. I mean, just in terms of the general public. Now, I mean, that's by no means bad, and I don't know why people seem to think it's just average, but oh well. But here's the thing. I mean, really, if you're like me and you enjoy these kinds of games every once in a while, yeah, you'll probably like it. Um, if you don't like these kinds of games, of course you're gonna hate it. Some people who might like this kind of game won't like that there's skippable cutscene, there are unskippable cutscenes and everything either. So, yeah, but as for whether or not it's worth spending $60 on, again, that's really going to depend on you. If you have the money to do it and you like this kind of game, then yes, definitely, definitely do it. But if you're like someone who can only buy a game like once every couple months, or you're really not sure if you're into this type of game, I would probably advise you save your money. Um, I mean, there's Bloodborne coming out next month. The Xenoverse just came out today, which I'm playing right now, and then that's also fantastic so far. But it's just one of those things where if you can afford, to buy more than one game in a certain amount of time, then by all means do it. Definitely do it. Provided this is your kind of game. I mean, it's a linear, cinematic, very story focused game. Story really well done too. Oh my god, the ending had me emotional. I know some people don't like it because they say there's unanswered questions, but it's pretty clear that this is meant for there to be, that's kind of meant to be. It's a definite sequel bait tease. So, we'd have to see where that goes in the future. But it's actually a pretty good little game. It very much reminds me of Uncharted 1 when it came out, and I'm really hoping Ready at Dawn can show what they can do with the next game. And honestly, if they just do more of the same, well, then I guess people are kind of justified in being upset with them. But if they do more now that they got their engine built and now that they got the kinks out of it and everything, I'd very much love to see what they can do. And I'm pretty confident that they'll be able to deliver quite a bit next round. At any rate, that is it for now, and I am going to catch you guys later. See ya.